I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can clearly see your screen, Ms. Hani. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay. All right. So very briefly, I'm the Senior Manager of Marketing and Admission at Newcastle University. So today, since we have a lot of students who actually want to study medicine, I'm going to just introduce about medicine. I'm just going to talk about medicine. So basically my slide, the key point today is just to say where's our location, the MBBS program and the entry requirement, as well as the fees, the program outline of our MBBS program, and the opportunity to study in the UK, and information for Sri Lanka as well as international student in general, and the UK medical license which is from 2023, and the quality and ranking of your future, as well as you graduate from our Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Okay, we are at Malaysia, at the southern part of Malaysia. So we are very near to Singapore, and currently since COVID, the both border are closed, but it's going to be open soon in the near future, probably in September, hopefully. And for Sri Lanka student, you can actually go to Singapore without any additional visa. So you can just cross the border. And we are part of the EduCity, and very near to us is Reading University. Previously, there is Southampton University here, but now they are moved outside of EduCity, but they are still in the same vicinity. The only thing, like, they are not in the EduCity anymore. And as mentioned earlier, that we are very close to Singapore, and MBBS, which is Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, requires in this fully in Malaysia, ending only in September. So for international student, for you, for Sri Lanka, the cost for the fees is 1 per year. So our fees will be the same for the next 5 years. There's no increasing of fees if, for example, you want to fees next year, it won't applicable to you because you already start with 110,000 per year. And I understand students from Sri Lanka, normally they are coming from the A levels. So the grades that we required is AAB, and for Sri Lanka Medical Council, normally they required to have for students to have biology, chemistry, and physics. Okay, that one is for Sri Lanka. But for us, you can either take physics or mathematics. And on top of that, we also require an IELTS score, English requirement of 7, which no domain below 6.5. Okay, now is about a program outline. So the program is all 5 years in Malaysia. Year 1 and year 2 basically almost the same, where we introduce a case-based study. We are not using a traditional base. We are not using a people base. It's more like case-based using a clinical research. For example, in this communication skills. See, there's a transition period to the clinic. This is normally take place 2 weeks. This is after your final exam during year 2. And you'll be staying over for 2 weeks to have a transition base. So this transition base is for introduction for you to go into year 3. So during this transition base, you are off campus. You'll be assigned to the clinic, community clinic or general hospital around Johor. Okay, when it comes into year 3, this is the first time where you will be off campus. You basically will be assigned to hospital around Johor, and also district hospital as far as Batu Pahat or Segamat. And previously, we also used Kluang, and now we also added a new hospital, which is in Kulai as well as in Pontian, as part of the rotation. Because as our student numbers are increasing, we are also increase the numbers hospital that we're going to use. So all hospital is government hospital. We are also use a community clinic around Johor Bahru. So it will be a rotation. So there will be an equal practice for about 12 weeks, and a clinical rotation in terms of medicine, surgery, and community in terms of 4 weeks. And there's also an integrated medical placement. So this is about 3 times 6 weeks. Okay, 3 times a week for 6 weeks. And in year 3, there will be a student selected component which will be introduced for 4 weeks. Okay, when it comes into year 4, it's basically you are in the second year where you are off campus as well, but there is still a remaining of 20% you are in the campus. So basically, you are more advanced here. You'll be talking about clinical decision making. So this is where you are making your own decision making. There's also an advanced clinical experience. This is going to be taught throughout the year. And there will be a student selected component part 2. So this is also 4 weeks, and there will be an elective program that I'm going to explain later that going to take part for about 8 weeks. And year 5 is the final year where you are in the hospital. So this is where we prepare you for the housemanship, but still you are a student. You are not an intern. And there will be an integrated medical assistantship. This is a compulsory. So without this, you cannot graduate. So there will be 5 days for 3 weeks. So it is a compulsory integrated medical assistantship in order for you to graduate. And there will be an acute care for 10 weeks. And of course, as you are in the final year, you are more on the senior assistantship medicine in medicine part, in surgery, as well in the primary care. So this is to cover in 6 weeks. Okay, since I mentioned earlier that the duration is all 5 years in Malaysia, there is still an opportunity for you to do part of the study in Newcastle, UK. So this opportunity take place in year 2 for 1 semester in Newcastle, UK, which is normally in semester 1 from September until December. And when it comes into January, the next semester, you can do a full semester in Newcastle, UK, 30 students. So we are expected to send over to Newcastle, University, 30 student. How if there is a lot of application, we will base on ranking of your final exam during year 1 MBBS. Okay, another opportunity take place during year 4, which is during the student selected component part 2 up to 4 weeks, and include the elective study, which is up to 8 weeks. So the elective study normally will be break into 2 parts, which is one foundation of 4 weeks and the other foundation of 4 weeks. So this elective, when you come into the foundation 1 and the next foundation 2, you can do in Newcastle, UK. So that's not an issue, because in my past experience, I have students who do the first part in UK and the second part in the US. Excuse me. This is part of the curriculum, so it is not an optional. So you can choose. You can also stay in Malaysia for the first foundation year, first foundation 4 weeks, and the second foundation of the another 4 weeks in the UK. So the only thing is like you have to start using your proposal, gather up the supervisor because normally you start using looking for the supervisor from year 3, and you have to submit the proposal in year 4 by end of December. Okay, so another opportunity is taking an intercalation. So you are taking a year off from the MBBS. For example, as you completed MBBS year 2, and you want to take off a year from, you don't want to continue year 3 straight away, so you can do a final year of biomedical science, for example, in the UK. So if you do it at Newcastle, UK, you only because your tuition fees is only same as UK student. So, but if you are doing at other medical school, your tuition fees will be an international fees. Okay, and normally for the intercalation for biomedical science, for example, it's not very popular because students tend to do a master program. So they do the intercalation after year 4 before going into year 5. So during this period, normally we have around 4 to 5 students who normally opt out to do an intercalation because they say they are not ready to do a final year of MBBS. So they want to do some another degree, for example, Masters of Public Health or Masters of Medical Education in Newcastle, UK. So same goes for the tuition fees. If you do it in Newcastle, UK, you only pay the UK fees. But if you do it in other medical school, you pay the international fees. So during this intercalation, we provide our opportunity for our students to enrich their personal and professional development. So for example, if you do a biomedical science degree during year 3, so you after you complete the biomedical science degree and you come back to Malaysia to complete your PhD, and in years you have 3 degree in biomedical science and another degree in medical degree. And if you opt out to do 5 years MBBS, 1 master program, so you have 2 degrees. And you opt out to do 2 intercalation, 7 years. So meaning that you have 2 undergraduate degree and 1 master program degree. Okay. So that's why for this intercalation, we open up to student. We don't have any requirement or any limitation. Student can do that as long as they have financial very stable. For example, if they spend around 9 months in the UK and for £1,000 normally approximate the cost of living in the UK. So as long as you have financial stability, you can do that. Okay, so this is an information for student. General, our license with the Sri Lanka already expired. We already do a renewal, and somehow the Medical Council has come back to us saying that we need to do some executive are doing a revision to our MBBS curriculum to meet the condition by the Sri Lanka Medical Council. And as I mentioned earlier, students from Sri Lanka who want to be registered with the Sri Lanka Medical Council, your A-level study must have subject like biology, chemistry, and physics. But if you have mathematics, you might not be able to register with the Sri Lanka. But if you have 4, that's fine. That's still fine. And additional information for international applicants. Currently, our Malaysia government does not going to give an internship position for the international student who study at NUMED. And therefore, if you are not a Sri Lanka student or you are not a Sri Lanka citizen, you may medical call. If you come from Australia, check with Australia whether after graduate from UMed Malaysia, you can do the internship back in Australia. So that's kind of example. And if you are looking for the UK Foundation program, this is a UK Foundation program in the UK, meaning the same like internship or housemanship Sri Lanka Medical Council or internship or housemanship with Malaysia Medical Council. So this is a UK Foundation program. So every year, if there is a new Castle University medicine, Malaysia name in the website, meaning that the application for the UKFP is open for our graduate. Normally, our year 5 student can start applying for the UKFP. It is available from August. So this coming August, we can only know whether the 2023 graduates can register or not, because currently the website is up until for 2022. And if you are talking about UKFP, there will be another additional exam that you have to sit. One is the PSA, prescribing exam, and the other one is called situational judgmental test, or in short is SJT. So SJT, you have to to sit either in December or in January. Normally for Newcastle student, if the UKFP position is available, you have first do the eligibility check. And once the eligibility check is being approved, then only you can apply for the UKFP. And after that, you can only register for the situational judgmental test. There is a specific fees for that. I'm not sure how much is the for only took place twice a year, which is in December and in January. And normally student, if you successful getting an offer for the UKFP, you'll be getting an offer sometime in July, and you'll be going uh, for the placement is in August in whichever hospital they set up in the UK under whichever assigned by National Health NHS UK. Okay, so this is not guarantee. Please be ensured we won't be putting this in the black and white in the offer letter. We normally make it clear to our international student. We are very transparent in this area. Okay, so there will be another exam that going to take place from the 2023, meaning our year 5 that going for 2023 September to be graduated in 2024. There will be another new set of exam. They call it UK MLA, which is in full is medical licensing assessment. So currently we are not sure what type of examination that they're going to actually introduce, but the assessment will be in two parts. Which is in the apply knowledge test and as well as the clinical and professional skills assessment, CPSA in short. So for our graduate in 2024, this UKMLA will be embedded in the curriculum since UMAT Malaysia is under Newcastle UK. So this examination will be embedded in the curriculum, and you don't have to travel to UK to do the exam. The exam will be done at the branch campus itself. All right, so this will be my final slide for today. Just very briefly for the quality and ranking. In terms of medicine category, our ranking is in the top 100, and we are in the 9 in the UK in terms of research excellence because we are part of the Russell Group where we are more into research. This is basically from Newgate. And in terms of the clinical, preclinical, and health category, we are in the top 150. So upon graduation from the MBBS program, you'll be awarded for this Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery from Newcastle, UK. Okay, not from Newmat, Malaysia. The only place where you have this Newmat, Malaysia stated is in your transcript as part of the teaching institution. So your teaching certificate from Newcastle upon time. Okay, once you graduate from Newcastle University Medicine Malaysia, you are lead to the professional recognition that's subject to the requirement by both UK General Medical Council and Malaysia Medical Council. But since you are an international student, you are unable to do the internship in Malaysia, you won't get this medical certificate. But if you are able to travel in the next 5 years, then you can register with the UK Medical Council fees for your tuition. Okay, all right. Now I open up the floor for question.
So to any student, so if there are any students or if there are any parents online who would want to question, who would have any sort of a question to ask from Newcastle University, please do feel free to unmute your microphone and speak to Miss Hani. Do we have any questions from any of our students? You can even drop a chat on the chat box. That's completely fine. If you have any questions, you can even ask it in Sinhala, and I could probably translate it to Miss Hani as well. So do we have any questions coming up along the way from our students?
Okay, in addition, I forgot to tell you that we do not have scholarship for both local or international student at our campus. So everyone who come to our campus is all on self-funded. It seems there's a lot of participant here. There's no question from you guys.
Do we have any questions from our students? Anyone who's looking at obtaining an MBBS in Newcastle? The fee structures, what sort of facilities are available for students? I think you might be having tons of questions to ask from Ms. Hani. So today would be the only day to ask your questions. Please feel free to unmute your microphone and ask a question, or either drop a message on the chat box.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
I am my sister, the daughter is a student in Sri Lanka. She actually wishes to go to Malaysia for studying. And the thing is now, A-level results would be around 3 Cs. So if we to get the do the Canadian A-level this time, we heard that the Canadian A-levels are somewhat easy to follow to get the results. So if it is from the A-level 3 years, Canadian 3 years, like will be able to come to your university.
It's A-level, right?
A-level, now she's going to study for Canadian A-level.
Canadian A-level.
But she's set for the A-level in Sri Lanka. The results is not enough. Your minimum requirement is not going to get it from Sri Lankan A-levels.
Oh, okay. Why don't you resit the Sri Lanka A-level instead of going for some other A-level?
That's what I am asking. If it is from the Canadian A-level, is it okay for your university entrance?
Currently, we are only taking A-levels from the Cambridge board, the SXL board, the WJEWC board. So basically, there's which, and I'm not sure about the Canadian board. I haven't seen that result yet so far. How long will be the study for the Canadian A-level?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah. In about 8 months' time, we will be able to sit for the
Or
A-level.
is it a Canadian grade 12? It's not, right?
Yes, grade 12.
Yes, Ms. Hani. Canadian A-level is grade 12 exam, which is equivalent to Sri Lankan GCE local A-level as well.
This is the OSSD, is it? The Ontario, something like
yes,
the Ontario
Secondary School Diploma,
okay.
Correct.
All right. So for the Canadian, we are looking average score of 86% in 6 subjects. So the subject must have biology, chemistry, and since you are Sri Lanka, you must have physics there. But I'm not sure about the Sri Lanka, whether they are accepting the Canadian grade 12. So that one I'm not sure, because the only thing I'm pretty sure is about the A-levels, because I think Sri Lanka, they are more particular about A-levels. But for us, if you want to come to us, we are looking at 86% average of 6 subject, grade 12. All subject must be at grade 12. So must have a combination of biology, chemistry, maths or physics, and the other 2 subject can be any other subject. Okay, for those who are studying O levels, you can come to us for foundation if you want to, if you don't want to do A levels. Okay, and we have a foundation program where we required 4 A's and 1 B at O level. Subject requirement is biology, chemistry, mathematics, physics, and 1 other subject. Okay, for A levels, Sri Lanka or whichever A levels, we are looking at AAB in biology, chemistry, mathematics, or physics. And as mentioned earlier, internship in the UK is not guaranteed every year. Will be based on yearly basis, and also the need from the UK to have an international student to do an internship in the UK. So if it is available, we will let our year 5 student to apply. But if it's not, then you should already have your alternative pathway where you want to go after graduate from your medical study. So that's why before accepting the offer, you must have the alternative pathway first. Internship in Malaysia is not available for international student. It's all for local student only. This is the same for all medical school. If you're talking about medical school in Australia, probably they don't accept citizen outside Australia to do the internship in Australia, for example, so that kind of thing. So basically, if you're talking about Malaysia Medical Council, priority is still their Malaysian citizen. London A-levels or Sri Lanka A-levels still the same, AAB in biology, chemistry, mathematics, or physics. Biology and chemistry is the compulsory, so the third subject can be either maths or physics. You can take all 4 subjects, or you can either for international student, you must have IELTS or TOEFL. IELTS 7 with 6.4 main, and for TOEFL we are looking at 100.
So do we have any other questions
Okay,
from
any more
parents?
clarification, any clarification, any clarification that you like to do? Okay, the cost is 110,000 ringgit Malaysia. Let me check for 2-day course for Sri Lanka. Because normally you will be based on the currency conversion on daily basis. So that's why we don't actually put a cost in USD or even in the British pound. So we normally quote our cost in ringgit Malaysia, which is 110,000 per year for international student.
All right. And also, Ms. Hani, I think we have another question from Alia Ruski on the chat box.
Okay, did I miss that?
Is it English as a second language, which is done in London only, versus having that equivalent to the IELTS? Alia, your question is not very clear.
Oh, okay. For international student, when it comes to visa, they don't actually want to see the second language. They don't accept that. They can only accept for IELTS or TOEFL only. Tushara, you have a question there? You can unmute.
Mr. Tushara, do you have a question? Because you
Tushara,
are still
you have
on
your
mute.
hand raised.
All right. I guess that must have been a mistake, Ms. Hani. All right. So thank you very much, Ms. Hani,
Okay.
for joining on with us today. It's been Really, really great to have you on board. I know that you have been sick for the past couple of days, and we are truly grateful that you actually took the time to come and speak to us Sri Lankan students, and we highly, highly appreciate it. I think Mr. Amila also wanted to give his regards towards you. He's also sick at the moment, but he
Okay.
definitely wanted to give his regards to you as well. So here's for more student
All right.
enrollments and to see Sri Lankan students at Newcastle University in the near future. Thank you very much.